In a place known worldwide for its natural wonders, California's kelp forests are one of the most striking, lush, and sometimes alien environments you can find. Giant kelp tower 100 feet off the seafloor, and around them dart otters, fish, and countless other organisms that make up their ecology. They sequester carbon at incredible rates and are home to many species found nowhere else. But lately, they're eating themselves alive. As climate change continues to raise ocean temperatures, sunflower sea stars have rapidly died off and vanished. With their main predators gone, Pacific purple sea urchin populations have exploded and mowed through kelp forests like a swarm of locusts. What's left are urchin barrens, hundreds of miles of bare seafloor, carpeted in dormant zombie urchins just waiting for more kelp to destroy. In the last 10 years alone, 95% of California's kelp forests have vanished. This is what total ecosystem collapse looks like. For 5 years, I worked in environmental restoration in Northern California's ancient redwood forests. I learned that with good people, good plans, and decent funding, we can bring back ecosystems at massive scales. But while we were saving those trees, the underwater forests back home in the Bay Area were facing an even more rapid and existential threat. In Fort Bragg, California, the Noyo Center for Marine Science is already working the problem. So I traveled back up north through the slowly recovering redwoods to see what they were up to. Their current efforts include removing zombie urchins, farming them back to health, and selling them to sushi restaurants to fund more removal. But what's left is metric tons of sea urchin shells just rotting in the sun. They're enlisting artists, scientists, and designers to find some use for these shells, ideally something that enables kelp restoration. So I filled up 8 buckets, took them back to San Francisco, and got to work. Urchin shells are made of 95% calcium carbonate. So if you get them really hot, up to around 1800 degrees Fahrenheit, they turn into calcium oxide, also known as quicklime. Quicklime has actually been derived from seashells and used for millennia to make concrete. Shell-based concrete was often stronger and more environmentally friendly than the carbon-intensive Portland cement that we use today. More recently, concrete has also been used to construct artificial underwater structures to create habitat for coral reef organisms, a restoration technique that's been wildly successful worldwide. The idea of this kind of underwater terraforming became the basis for my work going forward. The Noyo Center has urchin removal tiled, but if kelp is simply replanted after removal, there's nothing to stop the urchins from breeding rapidly and swarming back in on them. It's a losing battle. This is where holdfast armor fits in. These planters made of urchin-based concrete are meant as incubators and housing for young kelp. They're hollow on the inside, with openings to allow kelp roots to spread out and let other organisms in, but they're also ridged with geometry too tight for urchins to enter. In the same way that urchin spines ward off predators, these concrete ridges can protect kelp as well. They can be easily molded in 2 parts, seeded with juvenile kelp, dropped off a boat, and land in any orientation on rocky seafloor. Making these is also pretty simple and cheap. Material costs are essentially zero when made on site. First, urchins are fired in a kiln. Then the resulting quicklime is slaked with water into a lime putty, which we then mix with sand from the beach and a bit of the calcined clay from the container we fired the shells in. This sets off a chemical binding reaction that actually continues throughout the concrete's lifespan, absorbing more carbon dioxide and healing itself from the inside out. This closes the loop on the restoration process, providing a permanent solution to an existing bold plan that benefits the local and wider economies, scientists, and the kelp forests alike. Through simple alchemy with the materials readily available in an urchin barren, we can transform the seafloor into an environment that protects kelp for centuries to come. It's easy to demonize a species out of check, especially when spending months devising ways to fight against them. But the purple urchins are still a native part of the ecosystem and deserve respect as such. The kelp forests are their home too. While their removal is necessary, we can honor the urchin's sacrifices and return their bodies to the ocean where they can help to mitigate the harm that they've unwittingly done. Both humans and urchins are complicit, but human-caused climate change is the true culprit. And with our abilities and resources, it's our responsibility to work with our co-conspirators to begin to make things right.